And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Doreen Bailey, who asked the question, who would in a fight? Well, we'll call it a fight. Susan and Mary Test from Johnny Test versus Phineas and Ferb from Phineas and Ferb. Two series that I, excuse me, oh God, that I didn't, I never watched either of them. I feel I feel like Johnny Test might have been more up my alley, but Phineas and Ferb definitely was past my time. But both are kind of like the adventures of said characters. Phineas and Ferb is the adventures of them during their summer vacation, the wacky shenanigans they get into. Whereas Johnny Test is about Johnny Test, his dog, who are the test subjects for their sister's experiments. Hence the name Johnny Test. But in terms of the duos, who would win in an actual fight? Uh, I mean, both Susan and Mary are far older than Phineas and Ferb. Like far older, but I don't. When I say far, I don't like decades older, but they're clearly in their teenage years, whereas Phineas and Ferb are not, which means even physically they can easily overpower them. If we're doing this from an intelligence standpoint, Phineas and Ferb are pretty clever. Ferb particularly is able to. Is it Phineas or Ferb? I can never remember which one is which. I think Ferb is the quiet green-haired one. Phineas is the triangle-faced one. But basically the quiet one, the one who barely talks, is is very capable of like just building things, kind of Toon Force style, just building random objects out of almost nothing. But the whole point of the Johnny Test show is that they are constantly giving Johnny concoctions, machines, vehicle, all these things for him to test. Hence his name, Johnny Test. They are legitimate geniuses in technology and science, whereas Phineas and Ferb are just kind of more like kids having an adventure with certain amount of skills. So, and honestly, Phineas and Ferb would actually would be perfectly, it'd be perfect to cross them over, something they never did. I don't know. I didn't, like I said, I didn't watch this series. But Phineas and Ferb would be the perfect kind of individuals to act as test subjects for Susan and Mary's testing. So in that regard, yeah, they would lose that fight as well. There's not much in the way of super high sci-fi or science, experimental sciences within Phineas and Ferb. The closest you can get is some of the building they do, plus Perry the Platypus being a secret agent animal. So, and Dr. Doofenshmirtz with all his wacky hijinks. In fact, that would have been probably a much more even who would win, Dr. Doofenshmirtz versus Mary and Susan Test, because then I could actually compare scientific achievements, things along those lines. As it stands, though, you have some mildly clever kids going up against two geniuses in fields that are far greater than theirs. So in that regard of intelligence, Susan and Mary Test are the winners as well there. And if for some reason it got physical, well, again, Susan and Mary Test, I believe. Let me look up the ages of real quick. Phineas and Ferb. I believe Phineas and Ferb described like 10 or 11. 1 second. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. I was right. Phineas is the triangle faced one. Um, and Ferb is the other one. So let's see. Phineas is presumed. There is no actual confirmed age. He's less than 15, but presumably between 7 and 12 years old. He's older since Phineas's birthday. And he's 18 in the episode actor age. So he's between 7 and 12. If we average that out, he's roughly 10 years old. Ferb most likely is around the same age, if not maybe a year older or a year younger. Let's find that out real quick. Ferb, age-wise, is less than 50, officially 9 to 12. Yep, 9 and 12. Yeah, okay, so he's right around there. So yeah, they are tweens at their oldest. Um, so there you go. What is Mary and Susan Test's age? Hold on. Mary and Susan Test. Yes, or Susan and Mary Test, I believe. Susan, come on, you stupid. Yeah, okay. Susan and Mary Test. They are, I want to say they're about, what, 16? They're also twins. Oh, actually, they're only 13 years old. Okay, but that being said, they're still older than either Phineas or Ferb by a good few years. And they're age 14 by the series finale. They do also have telekinesis apparently as an actual power beyond being just intelligence. So they actually do have superpowers. Lovely. Let's see here. Do personality? Yeah, no. Apparently they're super geniuses. Uh, well, they're both super. Oh, Mary Test and then Susan Test. Where's Susan here? I'm finding Mary Test right now. Let me find Susan real quick here. Come on, where's Susan's test? Okay, Susan. Excuse me. I'm still getting over a cold, by the way. So if you hear me cough or do a little sniffle, that's why. Susan test. Come on. Oh, that's fine. Susan here. Susan. Okay, and then Susan. So Mary has telekinesis. Does Susan have an ability of her own, or do they both have telekinesis? Telekinesis. Let's see. Let's see. Appearance and design. So Susan is not described as having any actual ability like telekinesis, but I assume, given the fact they're kind of connected, that she most likely has a similar thing going on. Oh. All right then. So regardless, yeah, in terms of like IQ, these two are far more intelligent than Phineas or Ferb are. Plus, they're clearly larger too. They're clearly taller than these kids too by a decent amount. But given their ages, I would actually say that Phineas and Ferb are probably more closer to the single digit ages between 7 and 9 than they are their teen years. They just don't look like they hit double digits yet. And based on the parameters we have here, 7 to 12 years for Phineas and 9 for Ferb, that would make sense. Either way, I do think that Mary Test and Mary Susan Test would be the winners in a confrontation of whatever kind it would be between these four. But that is my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching though. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.